Hi, everybody. I'm Alex,
And I'm Ryan.
and this is Between Shelf and Screen. And this episode, we're in my house. Different location, not as classy or cool. I get it.
It's going to be darker, but we're setting the mood because this is kind of a gloomy, moody
super
episode.
edgy.
Super edgy.
But yeah, we're talking about not Conversation with Friends. I was about to say that.
Geez.
Normal People, the show.
We are still conversing with friends, though.
No.
Okay, that's just a normal person next to me, then.
Yeah, we're just having a conversation.
You want to introduce your dog?
Yes. Well, I mean, you can't see him, and I don't want to move that. But his name is Ace. Ace, come here. Come here, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Ace, say hi to the camera.
We have a special guest.
Hello. He's so sweet. And he will be our nice partner in this. He will be very quiet, so don't worry.
Yeah.
He won't be like
the aquarium.
Yeah, he won't be like in the mic.
Stop making fun of Bella.
Bella doesn't do that. She just
Bella
click claps.
definitely does.
She click claps. Honestly, the mic can't even pick that up.
Yes, it can.
Can it really?
Yeah.
That's a good. Well, then it's a good addition. Isn't that right, Ace?
Yeah, it actually picked it up in the last episode.
Did it really?
Yeah. So whenever you hear clip clop,
It's Bella.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel honored. Whoever's listening.
Bella loves joining the episode.
She does.
Yeah.
Oh, Ace loves it too.
All right, now getting into it. Did we mention that we're talking about the show today? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we'll reiterate it for the people who are listening.
And
Normal
couldn't
people.
understand us.
The normal people. The show. We did the book
last week, so give that a listen if you haven't already.
Yeah.
But
So I mean,
today,
give overall feelings. How?
yeah, feelings about it. What we found different.
Yeah. What do you think?
I thought it was really good. It was honestly like almost word for word. Like
Yeah.
a lot of it was just taken straight from the book, which I appreciated. The one thing I will say, I'm kind of upset that I didn't like wait longer to watch the show. I mean, obviously we couldn't.
Yeah.
But it is like, since it's so similar to the book, like you just get the same feeling. So I feel like if I waited longer, even when I rewatch it like down the line, I'm sure it'll hit a lot harder because, it's like running through it all again. But because I had just finished the book a week before, it didn't hit as hard, I guess. What about you?
I love the adaptation. I really enjoyed it. Like, it was a joy to watch. Again, like, it was one of those things where, we watched the show Conversations with Friends, and I thought it was going to be a chore.
Yeah.
Because it's not my usual show. And I didn't even go in thinking that this time around.
Yeah.
But I just didn't really have any expectations. But it exceeded everything I could have thought it would have been.
I will
Like, it
agree
was a
with that.
fantastic adaptation.
I'll agree with that.
And it felt like, just like the scenery and just like what I saw in the show, basically. Like, it felt like what I imagined.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this was closer than Conversation with Friends.
Absolutely.
This was so much more better done. Was this after Conversation with Friends? No, this was before the show came out. I think before Conversation.
Oh, did it really?
I think so. I know the book Normal People came after Conversation with Friends, but I think they made Normal People first into a show and then Conversations with Friends.
It's weird because it had like the same production quality. Like, you can tell
Was it the same company? I meant to look that up.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's the same contract signed all around because it has the same vibe.
100%. But this was phenomenal. The cinematography, the music, the ambient sound, just the environment. Like, the only thing that I think was all right was just the lighting. There wasn't much dynamic with that, but it still was really good. Like, everything was just all around amazing.
Yeah, like casting, fantastic. Acting, phenomenal. Like,
that blew me out of the water. I felt like it was
so good.
Yeah,
it felt like I was just watching normal people play out their life. Like, legitimately. Like, I think that's the vibe they were going for. Like, it was, it felt so utterly normal and just mundane.
Yeah, and
but it wasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And something that I noticed is like they weren't shying away from making mistakes like when talking or just telling things like, oh, the thing over there, that, and just
Yeah.
not really being straight with or like clear with the audience, but like again, it was just playing out exactly how real life would go, so it didn't matter.
Right.
Like if we were fully following
Characters
everything.
around, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just following people around. That's what it felt like. And
Yeah. Well,
that is I think that is the biggest appeal to the show.
yeah.
It is just people living out normal lives that are mundane problems that you run into.
Mhm.
It's like that is what it is,
Yeah.
and it's a joy to watch.
Right. And I think I meant like it didn't matter if we were following them word for word either. Like if they were referring to something that we kind of didn't really get the context for, it was still like it didn't feel unnatural because that's just how life is.
Yeah.
I guess like it. I don't know. It just felt all around amazing and
Yeah.
very well played out.
As far as adaptations go, I think it's a 10 out of 10. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
think
much,
this was the best one yet.
yeah, like
Will-
this is the best adaptation. Which granted, it's not that hard to adapt because it's just
It's a-
regular life.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's also a show, so they
Yeah.
get more time.
They do. That's true.
But
It's
I think that
within
it,
200. What is it? 270 pages. I did not know. Like, I didn't think there was that much content.
yeah, no, I didn't think that it would be 12 episodes. I mean, they're
Yeah.
shorter, but
They are, yeah.
still. I honestly though, I think that the show like did it and kind of did it better than the book in the sense that like you could really I mean, you could see in all forms like how they were acting and you could basically read their minds even though we couldn't hear any of their thoughts very
That is
rarely. You could still see it. Like the actors did such an amazing job with that and I guess it's not really better than the book, but like it exceeded my expectation for what a show could do.
Definitely. I think I want to give props to the actor Connell. Like, I thought, like, his odd little ticks and just like,
Marianne too. She
Marianne, absolutely, but like I feel like Connell, I don't know why. I think it's because the show was kind of focused around him.
had
Honestly,
really. You
I
think
got that vibe.
I thought it was pretty even, like the book.
It was generally even, but I felt like it dipped a little bit heavy into Connell.
Well, do you think because he had more character growth throughout that it might feel like that?
I think Marianne had more.
Really?
Yeah, definitely, because I mean Connell's like his struggles weren't like not difficult, but like Marianne had the most to overcome.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I don't think she had overcome it yet by the end. Like the
She was
show,
still struggling, but I think she
the show
from the beginning to the end, like she definitely overcame the most.
Yeah, I would say she overcame the most, but I don't think that's the same. Well, I guess I meant he seemed more well off at the end. Like he
Definitely.
seemed like he overcome not necessarily more, but just almost all of what he had to. While Marianne still did a lot, but had like so much more that she had to work through.
Yeah, well, I want to get into that later because you know how I feel about the ending.
Yeah. Well, not really. We haven't talked that much, but
We'll get into that later because like I can't really express my full feelings quite yet.
yeah. Okay, so then we've kind of talked about all around the character. Do we want to go into specifics before going into spoilers about how the characters played in the show?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was thinking about this before we even started, honestly, because I was thinking.
I'm glad you had some thoughts before we started. That's good.
Yeah. So as far as like Marianne's mother, can't remember her name, and I think it's purposefully done so, because she's just
Eloise?
maybe.
I think it was something with an E.
It might have been Eloise.
Because I
Anyways,
remember them at the very end, they mentioned it.
Yeah, she's exactly how I imagined her, like put on the
Really?
screen. I didn't change at all. Alan, that's a little bit different. When I was reading the book, I imagined his words more aggressive and him more like jabbing. like just like more intense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like in the show, it was a little bit more subtle, just a little bit.
Yeah, I will say, I think they tried, or like played it down just like a notch, but that's it. I mean, it was still, you get the
It was
same.
pretty much word for word.
Yeah.
He was such a like.
Yeah, he sucked.
Yeah.
He was exactly what I expected. I thought that the mother was played out more to be a victim than she was in the book. That's what I got, because like,
She definitely like okay like from the I know what you mean because like from the show you definitely see like those situations where Alan is actively antagonizing like Marianne and just like bullying her. You see those situations and she's just sitting there, like not doing anything, and you can tell by the expression on her face that she's kind of scared, like she doesn't know how
Yeah.
to deal with it. So like in a way, yes, Alan is kind of
abusing both of them.
yeah,
Manipulate. Yeah.
which the book didn't really point out.
Yeah, but I totally believe that, and that was something that like I considered before even really seeing this. But I mean, the book gave us nothing.
The
to
book
come
made
to
it
that
sound like they were in
conclusion.
cahoots. Like it was just like
She wanted him to treat her like that to get her in place almost.
that's the vibe I got
from the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I landed on because we literally got nothing else. Like,
yeah.
And especially when, that's a spoiler, but we'll talk a little bit more on it. But yeah, there was like one thing where I was like, oh right, yeah, the mom's like just as toxic to Marianne. Which I could still believe that she's acting that way, but also being abused and manipulated. And she was still like overall not good to Marianne because she didn't really know how to guide her in the right.
Yeah, because they were just two different people. I think Marianne was her father, which we didn't get to see her father.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Marianne was her father, and then, like, she didn't know how to deal with that, or the mom. If I had to guess.
I would actually disagree.
Fan theory.
I feel
that's my fan theory.
I would disagree, because I feel like she was her mom, and her mom didn't like seeing that in Marianne.
Maybe, I think, okay, here's my fan theory. Fan theory squared.
Your theory of fans?
Yes.
As a fan?
Yeah, fans suck. But, no, the mom was like, so Marianne was just like seeing her mom grow up, and she kind of imprinted on her, obviously, as parents do.
Imprinted?
But she
that's just something.
Imprinted? What do you mean?
I mean, you're right, but it's
that's a term.
I know, but it reminded me of like the Twilight imprint.
Don't. Not Twilight, bro. But anyways.
That's just what I thought about. I'm sorry. I just.
But no. Okay, so Marianne basically mimicked. You like that better? Mimicked her mother growing up, like picked up her personality traits, but that's never actually how she was.
Yeah.
Because she's a deeply sensitive person.
Yeah.
And like Connell saw that.
Yeah, like I guess I agree. Like she wasn't genuinely like her mom, but I don't know. I don't think I agree with her being similar with her dad.
I mean, her dad, from what we understand about her dad, is that she beat the wife, and that's all we get to know. But like, I would assume that like she is just fundamentally different, like her father, and therefore her mother sees that in Marianne, so she treats her different for that reason. And she fears Alan because he's a clone.
Yeah, Alan definitely is in all the worst ways. But I could see that Marianne got her like strength to stand up because of either seeing how her dad treated her mom and sometimes herself, and also because he was probably like a pretty like I'm gonna stand up for myself kind of guy, because clearly he was an abuser.
He did that a little too much.
Yeah, too far, buddy. No, sorry, we're not making light of that, but I could see that she was like, I'm not going to take any, like, crap from the people at school. And, yeah, maybe her mom didn't like that. And maybe she thought, like, let Alan, or I don't know, not that her mom's letting Alan do the, I don't know if that's the right word, because she kind of is, but kind of isn't.
She
if
is
she's being
100%
manipulated
letting
too.
him do whatever he
But if
wants.
she's also being manipulated, I don't know. I guess the way the book made it seem that she was fully like, I want Alan to treat her like this, so she gets like in her place as a woman. I don't know.
And then the show, you can see her kind of uncomfortably sitting there because she's just scared.
Yeah.
From her former abuse.
Yeah, and like the part at the
Which
end,
is more realistic.
Yeah, I agree. I do appreciate that.
But that is like
that awareness that the TV show brought.
Yeah, that is like the one part that the book didn't really expand on.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd now I think about it, because everything else they expanded.
Yeah,
way
covered,
more.
and there was really nothing left behind that wasn't supposed to be. But, yeah, I'm trying to think. I think Alan was the same, though.
Pretty much. Just
we
like he gradually gained sort of this aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Which is probably just for the viewer's sake. Because if he was like that from the start, then you'd, like, I guess the tension just wouldn't be there. Because you'd, like you'd see them interact at first, and then, like, if he would have just, like, already been willing to go at blows with Marianne,
right,
then you would, like, at the end, you would have been like, oh.
Right.
Okay, yeah, well, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, he was definitely the tension of the book, if there was to be any labeled, but...
I mean, there's different sorts of tension, but...
Ew.
No, not ew, bruh. Okay, first off, Sally Rooney was your suggestion.
Hey,
Conversation with
pull
friends
that back at me. You
and
know what else
normal
was...
people. And both these books and shows had so many sex scenes. So many. So,
I didn't know
your
that
fault.
going in. I knew it was sad. How was I supposed to expect there was a lot of sad sex? I don't... Anyways.
Her fault.
You know what? At least I didn't suggest...
Oh, the road? Yeah, no, I'm forever paying for that.
You are. Yeah, I'm not letting you live that down. And you're not letting yourself live that down. You had to suffer through it too.
Dude, I went through it, and I just chugged my way through it within a week.
That's embarrassing.
You took a whole month.
You know what? Yours is embarrassing though.
Is
because
it?
A week? Really?
I enjoyed it that much.
You did enjoy it that much to finish it in a week. Insane.
I remember I've definitely mentioned this in other podcasts, but she would text me, she'd be like, I'm going to finish it tonight. And then she'd wake up and be like, I fell asleep 5 pages in.
I did. I was also exhausted at that point, though.
Yeah, but by the way, I will add that book is 220 pages long.
That was embarrassing.
One of the shortest books we've covered.
You know what? That was embarrassing.
Anyways.
Yes, let's move back. I feel like Connell's mom was the exact same. I wish we got more because...
I love her. She's the best.
But exact same. Really, it didn't expand. She didn't really change as a character either. Like
no, she was a constant.
Yeah, which she was good. I loved her.
Yeah. So was Lorraine. Sorry, not Lorraine. So was Marianne's. So was Marianne's mom. She was a constant. Alan was a constant. Anyways.
Marianne's
Marianne.
Ew. Okay. Anyways, yeah, she was a constant.
Ew.
Because you keep saying gross things.
Marianne?
Yeah, that's gross.
How's that gross?
That sounds weird. Marianne.
Ain.
It's weird.
What do you think? Never mind.
What? No, what were you going to say?
You think I'm going to, like, say Mary Anal or something?
That's basically what it sounds like.
Okay, I get it. I'm gonna say that every single time we bring up her character now. For the next...
Shut up.
Oh, we're only at 20 minutes.
Pause.
I thought I was literally gonna get it like 30 minutes at this point. We're
So-
back.
So what were we talking about? We were talking about. I guess we'll go into Marianne and Connell.
I mean,
Colin.
do you want to do you want to get into the spoilers to this point?
I guess. Well, let's just say I think they were accurate. I mean,
Yeah.
they were saying the same lines as the book.
No,
Basically.
yeah, we pretty much already said that.
The only, not really. I don't know. I guess I'm just wanting to clear it up. But basically, I think the only kind of difference was that Marianne just seemed a little different at the end. I won't go into anything more than that because I don't want to spoil it. But she seemed a little different as compared to the book. But really, it didn't make that much of a difference.
No, not enough to make it a bad adaptation at all.
Not even close. So yeah, I think honestly they played their parts so well that it was it was so believable, and yeah, I think they went above and beyond. The actors, props to them. I mean, I've never heard of them before, so.
Right, I feel like I've seen Connell before, but.
I don't think I have, but I don't watch a lot of TV, so especially not with any Irish people.
Yeah, she's a loser.
And especially not the Brits. I'm sorry.
You heard that here first.
I'm
she
sorry.
hates British people.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm British.
Shut up.
Been there for
That's
3
even more
weeks.
embarrassing. They don't want you.
No, they love me.
They'd rather have me
They want
hate
me back.
them.
They want me back.
Okay, let's get into spoilers so I can move on from this.
All right, spoilers.
Yeah, so if you want to watch it now, you need to go ahead and do that because we're about to spoil all of it. What are you doing? Is this your spoiler stance? It blends in with your shirt.
It does. I just look like a
I bet
block.
they probably didn't even
I look
know.
like Kanye West on that one song with Lil Pump where they're in the Roblox suits.
I just wanted to freeze there for a second because I wanted you to acknowledge how dumb that sounded.
It was pretty dumb. I don't
It was
regret saying it.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that people have tuned out because they're like, oh, we don't want to listen to spoilers. I hope that everyone tuned out.
All of our 11 viewers.
Yeah. I hope you guys didn't have to hear that. And I'm the only one that's cursed to carry that.
Wait, hold on. I
knowledge.
want to do something real quick.
I don't.
Maddie, wake up. Anyways.
You are so cruel.
We know one person watches these. I don't know if she'd make it this far, honestly. She'd probably cut it off at the 15-minute mark.
She's like, oh, spoilers.
Yeah.
I can't watch this now.
And I'm
Hopefully,
just
Maddie,
wake
for
up,
your
wake
sake.
Up, wake up.
Anyways, now let's get into it.
All right. So
You're
what
welcome.
are moments in the show or scenes or specific things that really stuck out to you?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking me. I left my phone in the right there, and so I have it all written down. Can you grab that for me?
Well, think of the most memorable one thing that comes to mind without me grabbing this.
Oh gosh. That's kind of different, or just what the show.
Oh no, that was memorable that you were wow, I really like this, or wow, I didn't like that. It's memorable.
I thought that the Italian portion, or this part that when they were in
Italy?
when they were in Italy,
Yeah.
I thought that could have been stretched a little longer and been more awkward.
Dude.
There just wasn't.
Okay.
There's a lot of space that they add in, a lot of long pauses, and they didn't really do that for that episode. I felt and I was this is kind of the perfect example because everyone's just weird around each other.
Yeah.
And it just felt it was
Niall
too
was
short.
Niall was the only one where I was okay, regular. And Marianne and Colin, obviously.
Yeah.
Colin. Anyways, but that
They
whole
also did-
episode, oh my god, I was getting unreasonably mad at Jamie.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I
No.
hated him more seeing it play out than... Well,
Yes,
okay, that's
no,
not true.
I hated him. No, because, okay, my personal opinion, if you act that way in a social function as a dude, be ready for someone to punch you in the face. He was being such a dick for no
Yeah.
reason at all.
And then her one friend,
Peggy
Penny?
was
Peggy,
defending him.
she
I was like,
sucked.
what's your problem?
Yeah.
That's
They
why
were
I like
basically
it.
just grooming her into abusive
Yeah.
behavior. Like,
what the hell was going on? Like, oh my god, he was being such a prick. There was no excuse for him.
oh,
Like,
no,
there was-
absolutely not.
like, there wasn't-
He's just,
there-
he's just a douchebag. He
Yeah.
sucked.
Like, in every way. He was
Yeah.
being literally racist, misogynistic, and an asshole all in one scene. And I don't throw around those terms lightly.
Yeah.
Like, he was all of those things. He was being such a prick, dude. I was getting so mad.
Yeah, he sucked. And I still hated him in the book, but seeing it played out...
Oh, yeah, it made me so much more mad.
Because
I
the way
wanted
that he was
Colin-
talking, it was the tone.
Yeah. No, I wanted
Colin.
I tried to... Anyways, I wanted Connell to fight him.
Yeah.
Because he would have won, obviously. And that would have been so much more satisfying.
Yeah. I
But
just
no.
feel like that felt so short, which I guess it was pretty short in the book, but I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, that was one of my favorite arcs because I was like,
Yeah, and they
come
definitely...
on. I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
I was like, see that he's a terrible person, break up with him, and then you guys get together.
Right, and they played down the whole fact of how, like, Jamie single-handedly talked trash about her to, like, everybody. And then, like,
They did.
threw her
That's
name through the dirt.
Yeah.
Like, they really played that down.
Yeah.
Because,
In the
like,
show.
it only really showed it when Peggy was just like, oh, like, talking to Connell. It's like, oh, did you get her into all that BDSM stuff?
Yeah.
And then he told her to, like, F off.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only time.
We didn't know that was really instigated by,
Yeah.
Jamie. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
The only person I wanted in that group to, like, continue seeing was Niall.
Yeah, I liked him. They
Yeah.
also didn't invite the other girl. Like, there wasn't... Gosh, in the book, there was a girl that was riding with Connell and Niall, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And they just didn't have her in the show.
Wasn't it, like,
she
Niall's
wasn't...
girlfriend?
I don't even remember. Like, she was not important, apparently, since
yeah.
I can't remember. But, I don't know. I was like, that's a weird thing that they just were like, we're just not gonna... I guess they didn't want to find an actress.
Yeah. It is interesting, because, like, at the end of all the credits, I saw that it was Sally Ryder... Oh, Sally... Oh, my God.
Sally Riding?
Rooney. Sally Rooney was...
Sally Ryder?
Yeah, she was writing the script, along with some other person.
Yeah.
So, like, she was directly involved. I don't know if she was directly involved in Conversation.
I mean, they basically... She did write the script because they took the book and they're like, all right, this is your
Right, but
screenplay.
I feel like things were definitely tweaked
Yeah, there was.
to make it,
I
like,
would
flow.
I would feel like she'd at least approve it, maybe. Like, if
Yeah.
they sent it to her and be like, hey, is this good enough? Is this to your standards?
Right. Okay. I feel like I want to mention this now because... So, at the end, remember how, like, he gets that offer to go to New York and get the MFA through that scholarship.
Yeah.
And Marianne goes, I didn't even know you applied for that. And then he goes, oh, my tutor told me to.
That's right.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah, and they didn't even bring up about...
the jealous situation between him and some other girl
Yeah.
that, like, Marianne was really freaked out about.
Yeah, which, you know, I mentioned in the last episode that I didn't really think that was a part of her character. So, like, I kind of appreciate the show. I think
I like that change.
all around
gonna
they
say
made the ending more just coherent and, like,
Yes.
make more sense for both the characters. And low-key, on a little bit of a lighter note, like, because in the book, it was, like, so sudden, and then she was like, no, you should go do it. Like, we'll be okay, we'll end up together, or however it's supposed to go. That's how it is. And they still seemed, like, low-key content in the book, but in the show, like, they had time to sit on him getting accepted, and,
That's true.
I don't know, it just, and then she seemed happier with the way that things were in the show, than in the book, which is what I kind of mentioned before going to spoilers. I was like, I thought she was a little bit different. But, like, it wasn't, like, that drastic of a change. But all around, I think the ending was just a little bit more hopeful.
It was.
The show.
And I did appreciate that. However, both the endings for the book and the show upset me. And I think watching the show's ending kind of solidified that for me.
Really?
Yeah. Just because, you know, like throughout the whole show, you're waiting for them to just get together, communicate, and just be happy. Because that's all they wanted.
But it's Sally Rooney.
Yeah. Like, I mean Conversation with Friends, like, that ending.
That was so hopeful. That was so much better.
It was a better ending, straight up.
Yeah, which we won't spoil it, unfortunately, because we don't want to ruin someone else's. But
it was honestly a perfect ending.
Yeah. We even mentioned, if you've seen our episode, like, you know how highly, and I still stand by that, even though I think everything else about Normal People was better. The ending in Conversation with Friends was perfect.
Yeah, like, it was. Genuinely. But, like, Normal People, you're probably going to get a wide vary of, like, opinions on the end. So, like it just depends on which person is talking about it. But for me, personally, I didn't really like that ending.
I can see that. Like,
I just wish it would have ended probably about the point where, like, it was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Stop it there.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
I feel like the show kind of made me feel a little bit better about the ending because I was on the same page with you when we talked about the book, but I still, like,
it had an emotional payoff for sure.
Oh yeah.
I that did get me. Like, that was a very, because you could tell they really cared about each other and they wanted to be together. But, like, Marianne was basically, and, like, I read this right in the book, I feel like, because it was both Sally Rooney writing the book, obviously, and writing the show. So, like, they definitely gave off the impression of, like, okay, Marianne is basically telling Connor to go and follow your dreams. Mm-hmm. And, like, it wasn't him miscommunicating. It wasn't him not trying. It was her saying, you go.
Yeah.
And that was much more satisfying because it confirmed it. Because, like, in the book, you can't really tell. It feels like it feels like Marianne's kind of like, I don't know, like, on the fence.
Yeah, she's like, head. Yes, and it seemed like we know that she doesn't want that, but she's just saying, like, oh, it is what it is. Like, I don't want to make you feel bad. I don't know. It did seem a little bit more confusing in the book for both parties, but yeah, I agree. And, like, yeah, Marianne felt, like, actually confident when she was saying it in the show rather than in the book.
Right, because she just felt jealous.
Mm-hmm.
It was like her defense mechanism coming back up.
Yes. It's actually, I feel like the perfect way to summarize the different, at least for me, like, I think we talked about it in the book episode where I was like, oh, she might be self-sabotaging. But then when you watch the show, it does not feel like that. That's not what you think Marianne's doing. Or at least I didn't. I don't know. Maybe someone did, but that's not what I got from it. So, I appreciated the show's ending. I will say, like, I was absorbed in that whole, like, conversation just because of how it was set up and the camera and the way that they were talking, sitting with each other, like, and just the sound, everything. I mean, it got me in so many different points of the show. Like, I'd literally just feel like I was there. And then, as I kind of mentioned to you off camera, I'd be, like, sucked in, and then bam, Hulu ad.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean, that app just kind of blows.
Yeah, and, like, it feels weird to me because I genuinely never really have an issue. Like, I'm one of those people where I go into it knowing that it's going to happen, so, like, it doesn't really bother me because it's like, oh, it is what it is, and I usually can get sucked in just as quickly once it comes back. I usually never hold it against, but, like, this is just one of those shows where you almost want it to be, like, this whole, like, surreal experience.
Yeah,
and you
seamless.
Don't want those, interruptions.
Yeah. And, I agree, because it's just like a vibe. Like, have you ever watched, I'm trying to think of a good example because like when I was watching the show, I was thinking of specifically like, oh, this is what I was thinking of. Have you ever seen The Silent Voice?
No, I haven't.
It's like an anime movie. I
Oh, I've
mentioned it to you
seen
before.
it, but I've seen blah blah blah. I have seen of it, but I've not seen it.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, this that movie in particular, like, it's not like a regular anime where like something fantastical happens or there's like massive epic fight scenes.
Yeah.
It's very mundane, and like there's a lot of shots in the movie where it's just like it focuses in a lot on like their hands and their shoes a lot of times or like
Oh, it's like one of those feet.
yeah it's like Quentin Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where like he focuses in on like Margot Robbie's feet all the time. No, not like that, not in a sexual way. It's just like one of these focal points that like I guess it's like a artistic choice, and it legitimately was not sexual at any point. Like it's just
Can you
like
just hum that in one more time? Make sure I really know that it.
not sexual. No, yeah, but like they'll have those little moments where like, or like it'll even be just like there's one scene where this character's holding an umbrella over somebody to keep them like dry from the rain, and they're just looking down.
And then
And they
they
can't look
zone
that,
in
like-
on the shoes, and suddenly they're wet.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. No, they, it'll just go back and forth from like their point of view where they're looking. So like obviously like a lot of the characters in that show can't look each other in the eyes, so they're looking down, and like
Yeah.
they will look at the shoes. Like that's where it comes from a lot of times.
Okay,
Yeah.
finally. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Like, are you positive they're not
Positive.
looking down on?
Yep. But
No,
like it'll have little moments like that where it's just like very mundane, and like it'll have like large breathing spaces, kind of like they do in like Studio Ghibli films.
That's kind of how I was gonna compare it. And like I've seen
Yeah.
kind of like more niche or just like not really underground, but not as popular. Like not the popular anime. Like I've seen other things that focus on that. I mean, there's some beautiful stuff that's like beautiful animes out there, and
Yeah.
it's amazing what people can do, and I don't know, all around. Like I applaud that, but yeah, you wouldn't want to be cut out of that
Yeah.
experience with an ad, and
Yeah, like with the Silent Voice, like I was never cut out of it, but like it was a very aesthetic film.
yeah,
Like everything, like obviously no fight scenes, nothing epic is ever happening. It's just very beautiful art and like intimate scenes between characters.
yeah.
It felt just like this one.
Yeah, I think this was genuinely like a creative choice. Like some of the shots when it would freeze, like specifically what I'm thinking about is when Marianne was doing the photography scene with Lucas, and where she was like clearly not wanting to do this anymore and like expressing that, and he just kept, berating her because he thought like that's what she wanted, that she wanted to be treated that way.
Yeah.
And you could see like the desperation and just giving up on her face, and the way that he would pose her, and then it would just like freeze on that, like it would just be silent, or like just ambient noises, and it would kind of like zoom out, and it'd just be her sitting like tied up, and you could see like she's uncomfortable, but also it's like alluding to her just feeling trapped in life and nowhere to go and being lost. And
the sad part is in that situation, like she trapped herself.
Yeah.
Willingly.
Yeah. And like it was.
Because she felt like she deserved it.
And it was commenting on like him then, photographing it.
Yeah.
Like documenting it basically, and posing her and treating her like a doll. Just like, that's how she felt her whole life. Like,
yeah. When it was like, we're done. When I say I'm done, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ew, dude.
Yeah. And I feel like that whole character was there to just
Revolt.
Well, yes, absolutely, but also personify how she felt, like her feelings into a person, basically. Like someone to be doing that, treating her like that.
No, that makes sense.
I will say that it felt like he was introduced in a different way than the book did, where he was like, no, I want to treat this like a regular relationship, and then she was like, I don't want a regular relationship.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I guess I can do what, like, you want me to hate you, so I guess I can do that, or treat you like trash.
Yeah.
I feel like in the book, it just seems
like
he...
a psychopath.
Yeah.
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 Like, he didn't care at all.
Yeah. Which, still, I feel like he didn't, because he could have told by her, or been able to tell by her body language.
Or tempted to care.
Yeah. But, I don't know, he was I felt differently seeing him in the show than
Definitely.
How I felt in the book. But yeah. I think that Sally Rooney, including something like that, like, I don't know, that was one of my favorite aspects of being able to visualize her feelings in a person. Like, I think she did that really well. And the show handled it just as good. And there was a lot of just parts where the way that the director would pose these actors, like for the scene, like you could tell that it's all thought out. The things that they'd be doing, like you mentioned, fidgeting and all that. It just was so good.
I'm thinking of scenes where I'm like, wow, they had to put thought into that now. Now that you're saying it, I'm like, wow, they had to put thought into what was happening in every scene. And that means every scene. And if you guys don't know, there is so many sex scenes in this show. like 50 Shades of Grey amount. Like, just interrupts your entire viewing experience. Just like, wham, sex.
Oh, yeah. I guess we should have mentioned, this is, like, so not family friendly.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, no. Don't watch this
mature.
with your parents. Don't ever do that.
And this is, like, mature, like, very mature content.
Yes.
Like, 18
absolutely.
plus.
You know, we've never mentioned that in any episode.
I know. We've always covered mature content. I mean, the trigger warnings.
I mean, what else are we going to watch?
We're very mature people.
Teletubbies? We don't watch SpongeBob movie.
You would watch that, and you would review it.
And I would enjoy it.
I was banned from watching SpongeBob.
Loser.
But, I mean, couldn't you tell from, like, the sex scenes? Like, they had a purpose.
No,
and
like, it wasn't sex just for the sake of sex.
Yeah. Like,
or just for the sake of being provocative.
Yeah.
Like, it had a meaning. And that's why I tolerate it. Like, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, and you could tell by the way that they were positioned, like, what it was supposed to be representing. Like, there was a lot of analyzing that we could do with this show.
Yeah, you could analyze.
Okay, Alex, the analyzer. Analyzer.
Bruh. No, yeah, I mean, like, this show you can analyze. Anyways.
Oh, no, genuinely, like, everything. We could go into so much.
You could.
Like, about, oh, this means this, and she wore the color yellow because of it. No. Let's just be your English teachers, actually. Comment down below, the things that
Would you watch this with your professor?
Shut up. Actually, yeah, that's a better question.
Dude, yeah, that's a good question. I mean,
which professor would you watch it with?
No, honestly, this would be a fun story to analyze, but like.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna say a fun show to watch in class.
I'd be like, Dr. So and So. You want to watch some porn?
Who? Name them out. Call them out.
How about no?
This reminds me. Oh my god, I got so excited. Sorry, but
hey, buddy.
The teacher. It like didn't go over that in the show. Did that even happen? The thing with Connell and the teacher?
No, it did.
It did.
It happened. You must have not been paying attention.
I must... Did he talk about it in the cafe?
No, him and Marianne did not talk about it. That was the one thing
No,
they
okay,
left out.
yeah, I knew that it happened, but he walked away and then it
no,
cut.
yeah. No, it wasn't like in her apartment. But also,
That's true.
like
That's true.
him and Marianne never talked about it. They talked about it in the book. They didn't talk about it in the show.
I'm surprised that they
Yeah,
changed that.
I don't even know why they included it. Like if they weren't
exactly.
like if it didn't have a plot point.
Yeah, it didn't get brought back up.
Like it didn't show like Marianne's defensiveness over Kano.
Yeah, and it also didn't really show him being affected specifically by that, or like.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was weird. I guess I did know that it happened, but it just brushed over it. Is what I meant.
Yeah.
Like.
It definitely did brush over it, and it was just kind of pointless.
Yeah, that was weird. And also, if you didn't pay attention in the beginning or read the story, you wouldn't know that was his teacher.
Yeah, you would just be like, oh, it's some.
Yeah, it's some girl, and then he's like, oh, you know what? I don't want this.
Yeah.
And
then all that adds to the story is something we already know.
Yeah, and then he wants Marianne. I don't know, like. I mean, it still brought in the fact that he was sexually assaulted, but then that was it. Like, it just was like, okay, we're going to add this in, so this is something that he can be traumatized for, and then just not ever mention it.
But then he never mentions it, and then it's never, like, a point
It almost was just, like, dumping just another thing onto this character just cause. Yeah, I don't know why this show didn't address that. It had time, because it's not even like the book did that much more, that much different.
It just showed that, like, Marianne was, like...
Yeah, it showed some sort of effect to that, and then it never really brought it up after that, but it at least, like, acknowledged it. I don't know. And it took a minute. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, it was an odd addition that I thought they would have expanded on more, for sure.
I do wish, this kind of goes into when they had coffee, I do wish we got to see Connell's interaction with Jamie and her, especially after hearing some of the stuff. Like, neither the book or the show covered that, so it's not like this is a difference, but both times I was like, I want to know, like, what are they supposed to talk about, the three of them? That seems so weird. Like, Jamie was just a douche all the time. Like, wasn't he coming to meet them for coffee?
Yeah.
So I was like...
No, he was always an ass.
Yeah,
like,
so like...
just, like, always unlikable.
I was wondering, what the hell are they supposed to talk about?
Yeah, no.
That was weird.
And then, like, okay... like, it was so random when, like, all of a sudden the friend group was just like, wow, you invited Connell here, even though your boyfriend's here. It's like, well, haven't you guys been hanging out relentlessly and nothing has been said?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't, since he is the type to be like, you can't hang out with him.
Yeah, no, he would definitely be the type.
Yeah, he, like, just didn't acknowledge it.
Until it all blew up, and he was just like, oh, I'm going to be the most insufferable person who needs to be punched in the face, but won't be.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's so dumb. I wonder if him and Peggy got together.
Definitely.
Do you think she was crushing on him that whole time?
100%.
She sucked.
Yeah,
so
no,
much.
Peggy was the worst. Especially with that whole threesome thing.
That was so weird.
It was, and like when it got put on the screen, it made it so much more weird.
Yeah, I would agree. Because you could tell that she just was like kind of desperate for it.
Yeah, she's just like, okay, either one of you, yes. That's basically all she could have said.
Yeah, so she just sucked too.
Yeah.
Kind of meant together, Jamie and her.
Yeah.
No, she'd probably,
Kindred
he
souls.
would probably treat her like shit too. Because he just is woman hater.
Well, he just wants to control.
Yeah.
That's his whole character. He's like, I want to control the situation, and I'm mad because I can't.
I do want to jump back to Marianne's mom, because I feel like the way that she was treating her son, like just kind of allowing him to do, or I don't know if allowing is the right word, but I'm just going to use that. Yeah. If we're going by the way that she just wanted this to happen, whether she was being manipulated or not by him too, it was like she just let him do whatever, and then the second Marianne would do something, it was like that was wrong. And specifically the scene where she was like talking to Marianne and saying like, what am I supposed to do about him, which I also don't think was in the book, was it?
I don't think so either.
Yeah, she was like, what do you expect me to do? Like, I don't know how to treat that, which was kind of like made me feel for her. It made me did feel like she was kind of being abused by him too, because she was just trapped.
But also, like, asking Marianne for advice was totally not not okay.
And excusing his behavior by just saying, like,
but then also the way she the way that Marianne's mom reacted after Marianne didn't give her like an option, where she just was cold. She's like, fine, whatever. You don't want to help. It's like, okay, well,
like, kick him out. Like, what else is the other? There's no.
Yeah. Well, also, like, there's plenty of options you could do.
Yeah, and she already made it seem like she was like, what else am I supposed to do? And, like, what is Marianne supposed to follow up with that? Because her mom just doesn't care enough.
She's the child.
Yeah.
Like, what?
You don't put her in that perspective.
She's like, take care
position.
of it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm pointing at a problem. Like, do something about it.
Yeah. And then it was so easy for her mom to, like, abandon her. Though.
Yeah. No,
like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And low-key, I did consider that maybe she chose that so Marianne had the out and she didn't have to be involved with her brother. Like, you know, by abandoning her, she wouldn't be back and she couldn't interact with her brother, so she couldn't be treated like that. But it's still not right to just abandon your kid. I don't care if that's saving them from her brother. Like, do something about your other son. Don't punish your daughter because your son's being in the wrong. Like,
yeah, like the whole scene where, like, Lorraine said hi to Marianne's mom and, like, she just kept walking. Made me so mad.
Yeah. You just lose all respect for her too, because they just really don't. Even if she is being abused, they really don't paint her in the best light. And there's not, like, she still affected Marianne no matter what. Yeah,
I wish when, like, Marianne asked Lorraine, she's like, what do they think about my mom? I wish she would have just been like, oh, everybody hates her. Yeah, she's the worst.
Honestly, yeah.
That would have made her feel so much better.
And she treated Connell's mom like crap. I feel like that was, like, really all that I had to say about differences and importance about the show. Everything else,
I got out all my feelings.
Yeah, I will say, like, if you've read the book, like, you don't need to watch the show. If you've seen the show, you kind of don't need to read the book. I would still give it a shot because they're both amazing, but I would not suggest it doing back-to-back, kind of like I did. And, you know, you don't need to. Which is kind of
It's the same story.
Yeah,
it is the same story.
Yeah. So, yeah, I suggest either equally.
Yeah, if you don't like reading so much.
Yeah, give the show a shot.
Yeah.
It's, like, one of a kind. It's very unique.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's similar to Conversation with Friends, like, the way that it's played out, but there's really nothing coming out lately that's directed in the same way that these shows have been, so.
You can't really put into a genre.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, yeah. If you liked hearing our thoughts, like the video and subscribe, because we will continue giving our unsolicited thoughts about books and
Connell's
shows. Mom. Stop. Apparently, yes. I feel attacked, personally, by your unsolicited Connell mom.
No regrets.
So, okay, millennial, let's end this now.
We'll end it.
Okay, bye.
We're done. Goodbye.